Well, if you live anywhere in the country where it gets really, really cold, and we do get cold in the desert, you're definitely going to want a way to keep warm if the power goes out in an emergency. Something I've relied on for years is my older Mr. Heater, Buddy Heater, but today we're taking a look at their newer model, and I'm going to compare the two and tell you what I like about it and how they've improved it. Let's get started. The first order of business on this is I want to let you guys know that this thing is on sale, okay? This is on sale right now. They're normally $132. They're $74 on sale at my link. How did I get this one? Well, I didn't buy it on sale. A friend of mine had this lying around from something he purchased a lot, and a lot of stuff, and it was unopened. I mean, it was open, but I mean, it was still in the plastic. I don't think it had ever been turned on. I don't think it had ever been touched. The manual for it was right on top, and he wanted $20 for it. I'm like, well, how can I resist that? So yes, I got a very good deal on this, and that's why it pays to network with other like-minded individuals, because you never know when you're going to come across something like this. So what I like about this is it's a little more compact. I'm going to bring out the old unit and show you. Now, this old unit, let me put it like this. The old unit I bought because of Y2K. That's how long I've had the old unit. And I'll be darned if that thing doesn't still heat up out here. I've used it for the past couple of mornings. I've used it every single morning to warm up, because I do my videos in my garage studio / sort of area here, and it gets cold out here. Even though it's insulated, it gets cold out here. So I've been using that for years. I mean, all through the channel since I literally bought it at the end of 1999. So let me get it out here and we'll compare the two, and I'll show you what the differences are. So as you can tell, this is quite well used. I have used this for a very long time. I used this in my apartment in California when it was super, super cold. As a matter of fact, what I do is I had an old, big, thick book I didn't care about, and we put it on the floor, and it would kind of radiate the heat up. And that is something to know about this. There are no fans on these. We got a little tip and a little hack for that later, but there are no fans on these, so you're pretty much on your own when it comes to that. But they will warm up a room, just take a little bit longer without a fan. I bought it, again, kind of pre-Y2K rollover the years ago. It wasn't, my whole thing with Y2K wasn't that I thought planes were going to fall out of the sky and the world was going to turn off. I thought somebody was going to do something stupid, like what happened on 9/11. Or somebody was going to pull a prank and shut down power, or something stupid that would cause mass chaos. So anyway, that's why I purchased it originally. I just started getting into prepping about 98, and I thought, gee, I don't have a way to heat my house if power's out. And that was my first heating prepper purchase. So as you can tell, it's held up quite well. The only real damage on it is, it's gotten, of course, a little worn there from the heat. And if you notice right here, the plastic has kind of bubbled up, and I'm not really sure when that happened or why that happened, but it hasn't affected anything, and it still works just as good as brand new. And an interesting thing about this a couple days ago probably saved my life. I was out here trying to get it started. Hadn't started it in a while, and these have incredible safety features. And I start the thing, and I click it on, and I click and it wouldn't turn on. This would turn on, but it was like really pouring out. I'm like, that's so weird. Why is it not eventually catching? Well, then finally it caught, okay? And then it would click off. I'd hear the internal safety click off, and I'm like, oh, man, that stinks. I'm probably going to have to buy a new one. Well, let me change the canister, I pull off the canister, and for some reason, this canister was defective. It was leaking through the top, tube and the little relief valve badly. It's still sitting outside of my house. I put it right outside. Right on the side where I know there's no open flames. So, that could have been really a disastrous thing. So these do have a bunch of safety measures. They are safe to use indoors. They have a tip-over sensor. We'll talk more about that later. But I just wanted to show you the old one and show you how well these things hold up. I mean, this thing has been going for a good long time now. And this is my new one. And it pays to have two of them anyway. So I'm going to show you quickly a comparison. If you notice, the burner on this, the ceramic burner is this way, and the ceramic burner is this way on this one. Same size, different orientation. Another thing I love. Have you ever tried feeding in a canister through this, the 1 pound canisters? It's not fun. Sure, they give you a little witness hole here to look through, but it's not easy, okay? This makes it very easy. I literally tilt this out, screw on my canister, push it down against the side, and I'm good to go. Much easier to do that. It also makes it easier if you're going to hook up an external propane connection to this. So pretty much that is the main differences I see. There is no more button back here. This is the pilot lighter back there. There is no more of that. You simply just turn and push down and it will snap the pilot light on. So we're going to hook this up, and I'm going to give you some stats on it, and then I'm going to show you some hacks that I have to make this a little more efficient. So since we're talking about this today, I want to give you a quick rundown on the info on this guy here. Okay, like I said, this does have the accidental tip over safety shutoff. When this tips over, as a matter of fact, you'll probably hear it sometimes. There's a ball in there, and when you tip it over, it will shut itself off. That ball will go to the other end and turn off the propane. So it might melt your carpet, but it won't set your house on fire. They are safer to use indoors. They also have a CO2 monitor. I'm sorry, a carbon monoxide monitor, CO monitor. So if the carbon monoxide gets too high, it will also shut itself off. People have used these in tents. They've used them inside small buildings, wood sheds, ice fishing huts, hunting blinds. They're perfect for that, okay? It may not be, the most attractive thing in the world, but you know what? I don't care as long as it keeps me warm, So you got 9,000 BTUs of heat out of this. It will run on high on a small propane tank for 3 hours, and I have tested that. I've actually used this a little bit and tried it out. It's designed for emergency heat. Like I said, you can use this on campers, job sites, porches, decks. I will say one thing. I noticed a couple of reviewers on YouTube say that they wouldn't like this for inside their RV or their schoolie bus or whatever, whatever they're doing. They didn't like it inside there because it got too hot. There's a high and a low. I'd probably just turn it down or turn it off and kick it back on when I needed it. I really never had that problem with this. But then again, I'm using this in about a 400 square foot, 500 square foot garage, and it warms it up fairly nicely, fairly quickly. So it does have the shutoff for any kind of bumping, shaked, whatever. If it gets shook up, if it gets bumped, you'll be safe. It will burn about, fuel consumption rate on it is 4,000 BTUs, which is the low, and that's about 0.044 gallons per hour. And at the high, which is 9,000 BTUs, that's 0.099 gallons per hour. So it's really not bad. You'll get about 3 hours on high and about 6 hours on low. All in all, I can't complain about it. I've used this for a very long time. I've used these units for a very long time. And I've used them when propane was cheap and when it wasn't. And I got to say, I've got more than enough propane put aside, so I could run this as a primary heat source if I really had to in a real pinch. So let's put the propane tank on this, and then I'll show you some of my hacks and tricks to keep you even warmer and make it a little more utilitarian in emergency. All right, so like I said, you just pull that thing out right there. I can turn this on its side and stay. I can just line that up at my angle and screw this in here. So much easier. The other one was kind of hit and miss, and you were always worried about cross-threading it. For some reason, it didn't like to be threaded in through that way, and I was always afraid I was going to cross-thread it when I was putting it in that hole and watching it, because you never were quite on the right angle. So let's see if I can get this going. There's the pilot light. I hope you can see that. It is going down there. So you give it about 30 seconds. And once that's done, I don't know if I'm actually going to get it to go up and light, but I'm not waiting 30 seconds for you guys because that'll drive you guys crazy. Light. There we go. See if I can turn off the light to show you. I don't know if you can see it. Let me turn off more lights. Nope, you can't see it yet. Hold on. There we go. You can kind of see the flame. I'm going to take it up to high. And there you go. I can feel the heat coming off this. I'm really, really liking that already because it is kind of cold in here. Now I'm going to put a piece of wood under here because I don't want to warp my plastic under here. And then we're going to show you some of the tips and hacks and tricks that I use to make this a little more useful for me as a heater. Alright, so I've got it going here, and I almost forgot to mention this in the video. I do have an air quality detector over here. It has a carbon monoxide, a carbon dioxide, and your temperature, and your percentage of RH on it. And as you can see, I'm running this right here, okay? And I'm just charging it as I'm showing it to you. And I got like a 15 parts per million carbon monoxide, okay? And then it's dropping down lower, probably because I'm moving further away. But all in all, that's giving off less carbon monoxide than a human being does. All right, so pretty darn good so far. We are going to let that run throughout the whole video so I can keep an eye on it. I have carbon monoxide detectors in my home when I run this, so if there's a problem, it will go off. But I'm just running this as a visual aid for you guys so you can kind of see what's going on and realize that these are safe to use indoors. So let's start off with some of my tricks. Now, the first thing, I probably showed it to you in a video, probably way before any of you guys subscribed to me. I made this video one day when I was washing my car in here, and I was just kind of vacuuming it out and cleaning it up, doing a little detail on it. And I kind of like half did the video and half did the car wash, and I was trying to make coffee. And I wanted to show you this trick that I came up with, and this is a pretty common trick. It's not original to me, but it's using a paint roller. Let me grab it. Now, this paint roller here is a bucket paint roller. Now, you're going to break off the two tabs that are on the end there because you don't need them. And you're going to bend it in this kind of a configuration, as you can see here. And then you're just going to stick that right there. And guess what? Heat rises, you can boil water up there. As a matter of fact, that's really hot right now, so you want to be careful about that. It is safe to use. The sides aren't going to heat up. See, I'm holding the side here. So you're not going to melt any plastic or do any damage to your unit, but you will be able to. As a matter of fact, that's actually pretty cool too. The hot is right up top. Now, the next trick for this, aside from that, and being able to heat up a cup of coffee or maybe boil some food or whatever, boil some water. The next trick for this is going to be showing you a way to keep the air moving. Now, you guys know these Peltier fans, all right? These things are awesome. You can buy them almost anywhere. This is almost too big for the use here. How these works is you'll see there's little two plates sandwiched together. One of the plates is cold, one of the plates gets hot, and in the middle is the difference, and the difference creates an electromagnetic current, or electric current, not electromagnetic. And you're just going to plop that guy on there and let it work. Now, you don't need that. You can just stick it on here without this, and I think I'm going to do that so you guys can see it. So let me take the top off here, back the camera up a little bit, and show you how that works. So something I did forget is I do have to use this on this one. My old one, the older Mr. Heater, Mr. Buddy Heater, will allow me to just set that on the top and rest it there. I forgot I had to use this on the newer one. But you will notice as this heats up, now I don't know if it's going to do it on camera, but you'll notice as this heats up within a minute, it'll start spinning on its own without any batteries or anything. And again, we are down here at, the carbon monoxide's 14 parts per million. Super, super low, okay? The temperature has gone up a little bit, though. That's kind of handy. So I'm just going to let this run for a little bit, and I'll bring you back once that thing is spinning. These are interesting because they really do kind of just instantly start spinning out of nowhere. You'll be sitting there going, God, are you ever going to start? And then you turn around, and it's just flying. So let me let it heat up a little bit, because trust me, it's hot up there. And we'll bring you back once it's spinning. Well, that didn't take long. I literally shut off the camera, took a sip of water, and it started. And as you can see, it's kind of, moving slowly right now. It'll start going faster. Now, the weird thing about this is at first you're going to feel this and be like, why is it blowing cold air? You're going to feel the cold air at first. But like right now, I'm starting to feel the warm air come out that way. So that way you make it a whole lot more efficient. You can set this on a table somewhere that's, of course, fire safe. The only reason I use this is because this gets warm under here and it'll melt my plastic, and I don't want to melt my plastic. So, yeah. Put it on a fire safe table. There you go. And now you've got that heat coming off. Let me give you a little idea of how much heat is coming off that. Let me go get my heat gun and I'll show you. All right, so I'm going to point it at the middle there. And that is 169 degrees. Now, of course, I'm not going to point it down lower because it won't do me any good. Just pointing it at the fan blades, that's 171. See? So it's definitely blowing out nice hot air for us, and it's definitely pretty cool. I really like it. So let's wrap this up. I'm going to let this run a little bit more. We're going to keep checking the carbon monoxide on it. Let's wrap this up, and I will show you a link on where you can pick one of these up on sale right now. So all in all, I got to say, if you've got somebody that has no heat in their home other than electrical, okay, and they have no backup system, and you're looking to get them a perfect Christmas gift, that right there is not a bad idea. And it is on sale right now, like I said, on Amazon. I have it in my store, and I have the link down below. They are on sale from $132.17 to $74. I believe Walmart, I've seen them stacked up in the aisles at Walmart for like $79. So all in all, this is a really good deal. And if you've noticed, I've turned it to low because it got to be too hot for me here with that fan going. So it's definitely a good deal. And as you can see, we're still going 0.1213 parts per million of CO. So carbon monoxide is not an issue with this. If it does get too high, remember, it shuts itself off. And I don't know if we can do it, but if you tip it over, I really don't want to because it's kind of cold in here. If you tip it over, if you shake it, you bounce it around, it will shut it right off, okay? If you do hear anything rattling around in there, don't worry. It's legit. It's supposed to be there. It's the ball inside there. What happens is I believe they have a little ball inside somewhere in the valve. So when it tips over, the ball rolls and closes the valve. So you won't start a fire with it. I really like it. I think these Mr. Buddy heaters are really handy. I do have one more option for heating your home safely indoors. And I think if you can cordon off an area in your home and you can kind of set it up so that, you put maybe blankets over certain entryways and stuff and just keep one room warm, a smaller room, like anywhere from 200 to 400 feet, I'd say. This thing, perfect. It'll keep you nice and warm during any kind of emergency. And also, it's very handy to take out when you're camping in the winter, too. So, all in all, pretty darn good. The dimensions on it, 14 inches by 9 by 15 inches, 10.6 pounds total. Like I said, the fuel consumption is really, really good. For a 1 pound canister, you're going to get 3 hours on high, 6 hours on low. I always turn it up high to start with. And once I get it going, and once the room starts to get a little warm, like in 20, 30 minutes, I'll turn it to low, and that's more than enough. To turn it off, really simple. Push and turn, and boom, it's off. Just like that. Even shuts that off too. And when you take off your canister, you can just simply put it away because they're self-sealing. That was the problem I had with the other one where it literally saved it from going nuclear and going off on me. So definitely a cool little device. Something that I think is stood the test of time, at least with me. I mean, I've had the other one since 1999. I believe it was November of 99 that I picked it up. And it's just been an awesome little unit for me. And, I like the little butane canister ones, but I think these will heat up an area a lot quicker and a lot wider of an area very quickly. So definitely cool. Just make sure that you put them on something that's fire safe, I mean, this isn't obviously not going to, it's going to catch fire if fire fell on it, but it's heat safe. Don't put it on any kind of like laminate flooring or like a laminate kind of countertop. It will warp it. It will heat it up and warp it. And that's why I put it on that to begin with. And as you can see, the CO, carbon monoxide, is still at 13. That's just natural ambient, what's going on in here. So very, very cool item. Definitely a handy little item. Definitely great sale. I thank you guys for joining me today. Don't forget to check out the link down below if you're interested in picking up one of these new ones. I would say the new ones have absolutely much better features as far as ease of use with that and with the not having to push that button while you're holding the pilot light down. Definitely easier to use. Same amount of heat. I wouldn't say it's any more or less heat. So definitely check one out. When I bought the original one, I think it was $118, and that was back in '99. So obviously, inflation has reared its ugly head, but for $74, you can still grab one. And if you don't mind paying a few bucks extra for $79, you can go to Walmart and get one too. So definitely check it out. Don't forget to check out all our other links. We have our Amazon affiliate store. I did put this under my stoves category in my store, so if you're interested in checking it out, you can check it out there. Our freeze-dried wholesaler link, don't forget that. You save 15% for using my link. And he has freeze-dried food, everything from cheesecake to filet mignon to lobster to shrimp. You name it, he's got it. He's even had pizza and little miniature sliders from a company I will not name, but they're very, very good. So definitely check him out. My link saves you 15%. No codes, no nothing. Just click the link, shop as you normally would. When you go to checkout, you will see at the end, you have your little discount up on the top there. It will say Iridium 242, 15% discount. Underneath that are My Patriot Supply link. That's preparewithiridium.com. Some amazing food deals going on there. Definitely check it out. If you've got nothing, we got that 3-month kit to get you started. It's a good starter, a good jump start to your preparedness. 3 months worth of food for under $700. So you can't beat that. And our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store as well. Another excellent option for preparing your food for emergencies. I thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I may just turn this thing back on because I got a few more projects to do out here. Stay safe and stay prepared.